Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I've been asked by a subscriber to have a look at this particular baler. We'll just jump out the tractor here. Switch it off so it's not quite so noisy. Yeah, it's a New Holland BigBaler1290. Comes with a built-in windrower setup here. Really nicely modelled, really nicely done, but it would appear some people, including, as I say, one of my subscribers, is having some trouble getting it all working. I have not had any issues myself. I'll just show it to you in the actual menu here. Now we are back in Farming Simulator 15 for those that haven't already recognised it. And I did actually have to remember you have to come into the mods category. It's not all in one place anymore. Back in 15 I should say. So we're coming to Baling technology. If I scroll across here, there we go. So New Holland Agriculture NHBB1290 plus Nadal R90. I probably pronounced Nadal wrong. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to say Nadal, but that could be wrong. 158,000, requires 300 horsepower to run it. So yeah, as I say, really nicely modelled, really well done I think personally. So we'll get back in the tractor here, and what I'll do is I'll bring up the F1 menu. I'll just fire up the tractor again, so we've got some hydraulics working and everything. If we have a look here, we've got our standard sort of baler instructions or controls. Unfold baler, which is X, so if I press X, the back of the baler obviously drops down and does what it's meant to do. And we have V to actually lower the pickup, so if I press that, we can see the pickup going down and up and down and up and down. So yeah, what it also says there is press mouse button for additional controls. So if I press my left mouse button, because if I press my right mouse button, obviously you can see there it will bring up my courseplay HUD. So I need to press my left mouse button, and it then brings up this little pop-up window which says left rake and right rake. Well, if I start with the left rake, if I move my mouse forward or backwards, it will actually move the left rake up and down like so. So I can move my mouse backwards and it will then lower the rake to the floor. Again, holding my left mouse button, I've got the right rake, and I then move my mouse left or right, and that will then operate the right rake, and I can then lower or raise that, no problem. Now if you find that the actual mouse isn't the way you want to go, perhaps you don't have easy access to your mouse if you're using a steering wheel and pedals or something like that, and it's somewhere over the other side of the keyboard, behind the keyboard or whatever else, but you do have access to your keyboard, or you may want to search some different key bindings or whatever. You can actually use keys, and if I actually use my J and N key or my K and M key, so if I press my J key on my keyboard, it will raise the left rake, and if I press my N key, it will then lower it, and if I use my K key on my keyboard, it will then raise the right rake. If I press the M key, it will then lower it. So again, you know, you don't have to use the mouse if you feel more comfortable using the keyboard, or as I said before, you could perhaps maybe go into the options and overwrite those key bindings with something else that works better for you. So there we go, we've got it all lowered down and whatever else, and it's all unfolded and everything there should be set up right. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring up the actual pickup for the baler, because I want to show you here. If we come back just a little bit, you can actually use this just as a windrow. You don't need to actually turn the, or have the baler pick up the straw swath. You could just press B on your keyboard or whatever you may have that bound to in your controls, and it will then start up the actual windrow rake system. And if I then move forward, as you can see there, it is bringing the straw into the center. So if I come across like so, it will then follow and bring it into the middle like any other windrow in game. Okay, so that's fine, you can use it in that particular fashion. If you bought this and then didn't have enough money to actually buy a windrow, you know, if you're a role play situation or whatever else, and you're playing, you know, somewhat of a real life situation or scenario, and you didn't want to add in money and cheat money in or whatever else, but you wanted to windrow some straw, or perhaps maybe even grass for that matter, or hay, and pick it up in your loading wagon, this might be an option, and you didn't want to actually bale it, then again, as I say, this may be an option. But if I want to actually now use this as it's intended, to windrow my swath and then pick it up with my baler, I'll just come over to here. What I can do now is, with this again unfolded, I can then lower the pickup and then turn it on, and we have all of our rakes start up. Now you can't turn the rakes off separate to the baler, so if you want to use it just as a rake, then you would actually, as I say, need to raise the pickup so it didn't then put it into the baler. But I'm okay with that, that's fine. So now that I've got the pickup down, if I move forward, it will then pick up the actual swath, and as you can see in the bottom right here, we are actually picking up the straw and then putting it into bales. And I can come across, I don't need to get completely over the actual swath. This is what I like about this particular unit. You don't have to be quite so precise with your pickup on the baler. You can come across, swing across. So if you're perhaps maybe going around a corner or something like that, sharpish corner in a field, then this perhaps maybe would be something a little bit more ideal, because you wouldn't miss quite so much, I guess. Even though I did miss a little bit there and a little bit there. I think it's because I'm trying to pick up two types of straw here. It's getting a bit confused with itself. I've got the ground control for FS15 installed, and as I drove over the actual barley there, it created some straw swath, but it's slightly different to the actual straw swath that you get from the harvester, so I think it was getting a little bit confused there because I was trying to pick up two completely different swaths at the same time. So just be a bit aware of that as well. But yeah, it does work. I think if you're using a slightly smaller harvester than I am, I'm using the CR10, so it's got quite a large header on it, so it gives you, quite a wide spread on your swath. So if you're using perhaps maybe a smaller harvester with a smaller header, then you could pick up 2 or 3 swaths together in one sort of foul swoop, so to speak. So for that, it's really ideal. Yeah, I think that's what it is. As I drove over that slightly different straw, then it missed a bit there. I drove over this and it didn't know which one to go for, the old barley windrow or whatever that is classed as. So yeah, just be a bit aware of that, I guess. You can't pick up 2 together if they are different, but other than that, you be a bit more careful driving around in your field if you do have the actual dirt control or ground control, or whatever it's called, for FS15. Just be a bit more careful in driving than I am on the field. But yeah, so far in all of my testing with this, I have not had any issues. It seems to work perfectly fine. It gives me my bales. I can't remember if I jump out and have a look. It does actually just say straw with the actual bale extension mod in. It doesn't designate it as barley or anything like that. It just says straw, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's just the limitations of the actual script, I guess, the bale extension script. But it does actually say barley windrow in the little box down here, my info box. But that's not really important, to be fair. It's just more about the actual mod itself, and it works. As I said, I've not had any issues with it. It does exactly what I expected it to. It windrows my swath and then puts it into the baler and gives me my bales. So as far as I'm concerned, it works. I'm just going to actually raise these up. Now, I'm not sure. I will just test something before. It's not going to be a very long video, but I just want to see if I actually press N and M together, it will actually lower both of them at the same time. So where you perhaps maybe are restricted on your mouse movements, so using your mouse, holding your left mouse button, you either go forward or backwards with the left rake, or to the right or to the left on your right rake, so you can only raise or lower one at a time. Whereas if you use your keyboard, you can actually, or the actual bindings for your keyboard, or if you change them to something else or wish to change them to something else, then there's the potential there that you could actually raise or lower both of them at the same time. So again, that might be something to keep in mind. But yeah, I'm really impressed with it. It does, as I say, work exactly as I expected it to. And we'll just close that back up again. Switch that off. Keep the noise down a little bit. Yeah, it as I say, it looks really good. It works. I haven't been able to fault it. So there we go. The New Holland BigBaler1290 with the Nadal R. What was it? I forget now. Let's have a look. The Nadal R90. All working. Fantastic. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.